Hello, everyone, and welcome to IELTS Insider. My name is James, and today we're going to be looking at some useful vocabulary for IELTS speaking and writing. And today's topic is word families. So, in today's lesson, we are going to be looking exactly at what are word families. For those of you that have watched the streams before, you may be aware of what I mean by word families, as we've looked at these a little bit before when looking at vocabulary. So, we're going to look at 6 commonly used words, and then we're going to find some words that are related to them and look at some example usage, and we'll have some practice with you guys making some sentences. And also for each group of words, each word family, I'm going to give you a small quiz, and you can see if you can identify which form of the word should be used in each situation. And at the end of today's lesson, I have some homework for you as well. So that's all going to be in today's live stream. Just before we get started, I'd just like to remind everybody to like the video and subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already. Also, please check out the video description for links to all of our other social media platforms. And also in the link to the video today, there is a quiz that will be testing you on some of the vocabulary we cover in today's lesson. That quiz is on the IELTS Insider website. You can just click the link in the description, the video description, and it will take you right to that quiz. So that's something you can all do at the end of today's video lesson. Just before we get started with the actual lesson, we've got some comments coming in. So let us just look at them before we get started. And who's here today? We've got Layla here saying, "Hi, James." Hi, Layla. I hope you're well. And you've also said, Layla, I hope you're doing well. By the way, did you start teaching at university for this semester? Yes, I started on Monday, but I've had a lot of preparation to do for the last few weeks. But yeah, actually started teaching on Monday. Al Anud is here saying, "Hi, I am here." Great to have you here, Al Anud. Zaza is here saying, "Hi." Hi to you as well, Zaza. I hope you are well today. Thank you for coming into the stream. Lavanya is here as well saying, "Hi, James." Hi, Lavanya. It's always great to see you in these live streams. Layla is saying hello to everyone. Very nice, very nice. And DS is saying, "Good afternoon, James." Well, where I am, it is good evening. And I suppose that's a great thing about online classes. You can be anywhere in the world. It could be morning in Colombia, afternoon in Lebanon, and evening in Japan. Layla is saying, "I can see and hear you." That's great. Thank you for letting me know, Layla. Mokhtar is here saying hello. Hello, Mokhtar. It's good to see you in the stream again. Layla is saying, "I think this lesson will be friendly and interesting. It's about word families." Yeah, let's hope like families are usually friendly, not always friendly, but families are usually friendly and families are definitely interesting. So let's hope you find these word families friendly and interesting as well. Shaima is here saying, "Hi, James." Hi, Shaima. I hope you're doing well today. Swifty is here. Hi, tomorrow is my speaking date. I hope I can do well. Okay, I hope you can do well as well, Swifty. Try to, I take it you mean your speaking date for the IELTS test? Is that what you mean by the speaking date? If it is, make sure you get plenty of rest before and prepare yourself mentally, physically. Eat a good breakfast. Make sure you're well prepared for the test. CB is here saying hi. Hi, CB. It's great to have you here. Mokhtar, I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to see you too. Well, I'm happy to hear from you. Um, Another Layla is here, and Layla is saying hello. Great to see you in the stream today. And Zineb is here saying hello. I hope you are doing well. Yes, I am doing well, Zineb. I hope you are doing well too. Okay, so great to catch up with everybody and say hello to you all at the beginning of today's lesson. So, we're going to start with the first part of the lesson. What are word families? So, as I explained at the beginning, this is something I've covered in some of my live streams, but I've not really gone into a lot of detail in it. So, today we're going to explain what word families are and give lots of examples and give you some practice using them. So, word families are groups of words that are related to each other, just like brothers and sisters or cousins. We're all in families. These words are in families as well. They have a close relationship. These relationships can take on different forms. They can be nouns or adjectives, verbs, adverbs. And understanding these word families can be useful for building your vocabulary. If you know a word that is a noun, that can also be an adjective, verb, or adverb, by just changing that word slightly, that is 4 words that you have in your vocabulary rather than just one single word. And a lot of the time, these words in the family have similar meanings. So you don't really need to learn a new meaning for a word. You just really need to learn how to use it correctly. And what we're going to be doing with that is, first of all, we'll look at the 3 different ways that we usually talk about words belonging in families. Now, they come from the same root word, so meaning that they come from a word that is very similar in the way it sounds, the way it looks, the way it is spelled. So that's the first way. Word families can be words that are similar in meaning. So you'll probably know about this through the word synonyms. So synonyms are words that are closely related in meaning. And I have done some live streams on synonyms before. You can maybe go and check some of those videos out. And there's also another group of word families where words have similar sounds. These are not as useful, I think, but they can be good for pronunciation patterns. For example, if you want to practice pronouncing an ah sound, you can find words like cat, mat, pat, bat, and it can be quite a useful way to practice different sounds. So those are the kind of 3 ways that words can be formed into families. However, today we are going to concentrate on the first kind of word family, words that come from the same root word. And I'll give you some examples in a minute. So let's look at some commonly used root words that have numerous other words related to them and come directly from that root. Now, while we're looking at these words, you can practice using them by typing some sentences in the chat, and I can correct some of your sentences, or maybe I won't need to correct your sentences because they are already correct. So this is a great way for you to practice using different forms of words. It will let you see the different types of grammar structures that you use with these different types of words. A noun and a verb will have different structures before and after it. So yeah, by you practicing, by typing in some of your own sentences, it can really help you develop your vocabulary and learn how to use these words properly. So, just before we go on to our first word, let's catch up with some comments. Justin is here, and Justin's saying hi. Yes, Swifty is saying, yes, it's my IELTS date, and thank you. Okay, very good luck tomorrow, Swifty. I hope you can do your best and get a great score. Shanu is here, and Shanu is saying hi, and hi to you. Great to have you here. Alanud is saying hi, I think, again. Vunsumna is here again, saying hello, everyone. Hello to you, Vunsumna. Robin is here saying click like to support James. Thank you for the reminder, Robin. Everybody, please like the video. Layla's saying, when we know more about word families, that will help us increase the words that we know. Yeah, I think so. If we know how to use the different meanings of the words in these families, it can really improve our vocabulary. Yeah. It will be easier to remember these words when we know they are a family and they have the same roots. Yeah, I think that's the big thing is if you know one word and there's another word that's closely related to it, it's much easier to remember that new word rather than a completely new word that has a different definition. So yeah, I think it is easier to remember those words. Shri is saying, I have clicked like. Excellent. Layla, certainly don't give James's live streams likes. Oh, I think we should give my live stream some likes. Okay, so let's go on today and look at our first word we're going to look at. And this is a very, very common word that people use in everyday speech. And this word is help. And when we use help, first of all, we're going to look at the meaning of the word help when we use it as a verb. So he helped me, or I can help you. So when we use it as a verb, it simply means to make it easier for someone to do something by offering your services or resources. So you're trying to help someone, you're making their life easier by doing something for them. So that is the first root word we're going to look at today. So before I go on to show you some of these other words in this family, can you think of any other words that are related to help that maybe have a similar meaning and are using this in the word help as well? Can you think of any other words that are related to help? If you can, you could type your answers in the chat. So, oh, Layla's saying, sorry, I want to say, don't forget to give James's live stream a like. Yeah, no problem, Layla. I knew that's what you were trying to mean. Swifty's got a sentence here, which is good. I love to help people who are in trouble. Excellent. This is a perfect sentence here. Very nice. Layla is saying helpless. I think you mean helpless. So we're missing out the L there, Layla. But yeah, helpless is a word that is related to help. Helpful. Very good. Um, Lavanya, don't worry, Layla. Yeah, exactly, Layla. You don't need to worry. Everybody makes typos. No big deal. I love helping people who are in trouble. Trouble. Very good. So you've used two sentences here, Swifty. Both of them are completely fine to use. I love to help people who are in trouble. I love helping people who are in trouble. So both of those sentences are great. Fast Ghost has used the word aid, which is great. That is a synonym of aid. And if we go back to um, the introduction, this is this type of word family when they are similar in meaning. So help and aid have a similar meaning, they are synonyms. Today, I really want to kind of concentrate on the words that come from the same root word, fast ghost. But yeah, you're quite correct. Aid is a synonym. What else did we have? Helpful, helpful. Oh, DS, helper, helpful, helped. Very good. Helplessness. Excellent, Willie Wills. This is a really good one here. We should help each other during this pandemic. Excellent sentence, Asifa. So I think most of you. Oh, before we go on to this, Layla's got one. James helps us a lot by teaching us very helpful IELTS lessons. Okay, so there we have two forms of the word help. We are using it here as a verb, and we are using it here as an adjective. Helping. Now, hope is not really related in meaning to help. It is kind of related in the sound, but not so much in the meaning. So let's look at some of these ones I've got then. So I've chosen um, 4 words that are in the word family. Helpful, and this is an adjective. And Layla used it very nicely by describing the IELTS lesson. So, as an adjective, we can use helpful to describe a noun, the noun being the IELTS lessons. So, that's a good example as an adjective. We could also have the opposite meaning, unhelpful. And somebody that is unhelpful, you would describe them as being somebody who's not willing to help you in any sort of way. That person would be unhelpful. So, maybe an example, if you went to a train station and you asked the person behind the counter, what time is the next train to London? And they say, I don't know. They are being unhelpful. So, yeah, there is a good example. We've also got the word helpless. Now, the meaning of this word is a little bit different because helpless means you cannot do anything to help. It's impossible for you to do anything to help someone. So you are helpless, or the situation is helpless. You can't do anything. And we also have the word help being used as a noun, and we can use this to describe a person. So, a person that helps is a helper. So, this is commonly used in a lot of occasions when we are talking about people who are maybe not doing an actually realized job, but they are just doing something to help out. Those people would be called helpers. So it's not their job, they're just doing it to be helpful. So we can see there are lots of related words. Now, there was another one, Willie Wills put one up, helplessness. And this is another noun which is related to the adjective helpless. So helpless meaning there's nothing you can do to help. Helplessness is the feeling that you have when there is nothing you can do to help. So, helpless and helplessness are very closely related. So, that's another word that we could actually add. In fact, you know what? I am going to add it to our I'm adding it to our group here. So, oh, there we go. Helplessness. We'll add that one as well. So, these are some of the words that are in this family. And we're going to look at how we can use these words in sentences. So, I thought what would be a good idea would be to give you a quiz. And we're going to look at 4 sentences. All of these sentences are using one of these words. We have to look at the sentence and figure out, is it an adjective or is it a noun? What is the meaning or is it the verb? So we'll do that in a little bit a minute. Layla's got a sentence coming in. We should be helpful around helpless people. This will help them a lot. Excellent, Layla. So we've got 3 words here being used. Great. Um, this will help them. Yeah. Okay. So just a little typo there. Asifa, she was helpless in his world. Very good. Very good. The Shaw English channel was helpful for me in my basic English learning. Excellent, Lavanya. Perfect use of the word helpful. Asif in this world. Okay, in this world. Layla is saying, when I was at the bus station, I didn't find any helpers to guide me. Okay, so I would rather than what I should do, where I should go. Where I should go. I think that would be better. But yeah, this is a very, very common situation. You didn't find anybody to help you, so you didn't find any helpers. The Shaw English channel is helpful for me in my basic English learning and my fluent English. Very, very nice. So, all of you already have shown that you can use this in sentences. So, what we're going to do, a quick quiz. Let's see how quick your fingers are. So I have 4 sentences, and these sentences are all going to be using a word that comes from the help family. So when we write our answers to these, please everyone remember, write the answer and then write the number and write the answer. So, for example, you could, like I have just done in the chat, you could write number 1, help. It's really important that you write the number so that I know which question you are answering. So, let's look at these questions. My best friend is very something. She always tries to make things easier for me. My brother needs something with his school project. So, what do we need? Large festivals usually employ lots of something to clean up after the event. And then we have number 4. People found themselves something when their electricity was turned off. So, 4 different sentences here, and each of them are using a different form of our help word family. So, can you find the meaning for each one? So, let's start. Oh, we've got a lot of answers already. Oh, so many. So, Swifty's in first with number 1 saying helpful. Layla is saying helpful. DS helpful, and Willie Wills helpful, Layla helpful, Zineb helpful, Asifa, Shri helpful, Lavanya is saying help for number 1. Okay. And any others for number one? Lavanya has changed to helpful. Yes, very good. So here we're using the adjective to describe. So somebody that is helpful is always trying to make things easier for other people. So here we're using the adjective form to describe the person. My best friend is very helpful. Let's see what we've got for number two. What answers do we have coming in? Swifty is saying help. DS is saying help. Layla is saying help. Asifa, help. Layla, help. Shri is saying helper, so a little bit different. Zineb, help. Willie Wills, help. Lavanya, help. Okay, so I think we got this between most of us here. We did get the correct answer. My brother needs some help with his school project. So here we're using this as a noun. The word help can be used as a verb or a noun. So in this case, we're using it as a noun. Let's see for number three. Large festivals usually employ lots of to clean up after the event. So, what answers do we have coming in for number three? DS is saying helpers. Swifty, helpers. Layla is saying helpers. Layla is saying helpers. And Shri, helpers. Helpers. Willie Wills is saying helper. Now, this is not possible because we've got lots of. So it's more than one. So in this case, we cannot use the singular form. It has to be the plural form, helpers. So Zineb got it. Fast Ghost got it as well. Lavanya, you've also done the same thing. It has to be the plural form because there's more than one person helping. There's lots of helpers. So if it was an article, here, large festivals usually employ it could be helper. But in this case, we're talking about lots of, it has to be the plural form. Okay, our last one, number four for this part. People found themselves something when their electricity was turned off. So, what answers do we have? Number four. Swifty is saying unhelpful. Okay. Asifa is saying helpless. DS is saying helpless. Layla is saying helpless. Layla is also saying helpless. Willie Wills, helpless. Shri, Fast Ghost, helpless. Zineb, helpless. Lavanya, helpless. And Lavanya is also correcting number three. Good, good. Yeah, so if you said helpless, yes, this was the correct answer. So they found themselves helpless, meaning that they were unable to help. There was nothing they could do to change the situation. There's nothing they can do to affect it. So it must be this word helpless. They found themselves helpless. Okay, I think we had a very, very good success rate with the word help. Most of you did a really great job on the quiz. And I think these sentences are just a good way to show you how the sentence structure will guide you towards what the correct word is, whether it's an adjective or a noun, a verb that we need to use in there. So let's go on to our second word of the day. And the next word we're going to look at is the word right. And again, we're using this as a verb. And the original meaning of the verb is to, what? That is not the correct meaning. Oh, what has happened here? That is the meaning of help. So the meaning of right is to to put something down in words. So there is our meaning. Sorry, guys, that was a little bit of a mistake. So, to write something is to put something down in words. Now, this used to be through pen and paper, but the verb write these days mostly is talking about typing when we are writing. That seems to be the most common way, either typing on a cell phone, typing on a keyboard. People still do write with pen and paper, but it is not as common as it used to be. So the verb write means to put something down in words. So again, what we're going to look at here is, can you think of any words that are related to write? So what other words do you think are in the word family? DS is saying you got this. Very good. Yeah, yeah. Layla, don't worry about it, James. Okay, no problem. So we've got one word coming in the word family. Asifa is saying writer. Yep. Layla is saying writing. Yep. Layla again is saying writing, writer, and written. Very good. DS is saying rewrite, writer, written, write. Very good. Layla is also saying writer and rewrite. Very good. So you've got a lot of these words that we're going to be looking at. So I have my list, and I think um, it's very similar to the words you've got. So I've got the word writer as a noun. So writer could be a job. Somebody is a writer. They write things for their job. Writing, again, can be a noun describing the act of something being written down. That is writing. So we could describe things like, oh, my writing is not very good, or I am very good at writing. The word written could be a verb or an adjective. So it can be the past participle of the verb write, but it can also be an adjective. It was written on a piece of paper. Unwritten can also be an adjective, meaning that something has never been written down. Nobody has ever put this idea down on paper or recorded it. And then another verb, rewrite. And this means to write something again. So maybe you have written a message and you think, oh, that's not very good. I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to write it again. So again, all of these are related. They're in the same word family. They have a similar meaning to each other. So Asifa has got an example sentence here. I'm going to write an article on global warming. Excellent sentence, Asifa. So there's a good way of how we're using write as a verb in a sentence. I'm going to write an article on global warming. So again, we've got different words, similar meanings, all using the same root word. So Layla is giving a sentence. I got 5-man score for my IELTS writing. Okay. So there we go. We're using that as a noun here to talk about the test, IELTS writing. Excellent. So we're going to do the same thing again. I'm going to show you 4 different sentences, and each of them will be using one of these forms of write. So either as a verb, noun, maybe adjectives or other verbs. Fast Ghost has got a sentence. I write unwritten ideas to be a writer. Yeah, so I think this is a very confusing sentence, but when you actually look at it, It makes a lot of sense. The best writers always write unwritten ideas because then they are original. Very good, Fascos. My handwriting is generally sloppy because I write far too fast. We just need to take the S off of right here, DS. But yep, very good. 5 students have to rewrite their homework. Very nice, Layla. Willie Wills is saying, I am writing notes while listening to the lecture. Excellent, Willie Wills. Layla is saying Shakespeare is a good writer. I like his writings. His plays were written centuries ago. I hope we can rewrite them in contemporary English. Layla, these are some fantastic sentences using some different forms of the verb and the noun and the adjective. Lovely. So let's go on and look at our sentences again. We will do the same thing. You can write the number and write your answer beside it. So we've got question 1, sentence 1. Becoming a something has always been my dream job. Number 2, I need to something my essay as my first attempt had too many mistakes. Number 3, I think something is the hardest English skill to master. Number 4, most socially acceptable behaviors are something, but people know about them. So here are our 4 sentences. What are these missing words? So I'll give everybody a little bit of time to write their answers in the chat, and then I will look at some of those answers. Okay, so Layla for number 1 is saying writer. Willie Wills, writer. DS, writer. Fast Ghost. Layla. Lavanya. Shri. Okay, all of you are going for writer. And yeah, here we're using it as a noun to describe the job of somebody that writes. They are a writer. Very good. So for number 2, the important part here was the end of the sentence. My first attempt had too many mistakes. So let's see who got the answers for number 2. Layla is saying rewrite. DS, rewrite. Fast Ghost, rewrite. Willie Wills is saying write. Willie Wills is changing that to rewrite. Very good. Asifa is rewrite. Lavanya, rewrite. And Martin is saying write as well for number 2. Now, for number 2, it had to be rewrite because we've already written it once. Remember, the word rewrite means to write again. So we've already written it once because I've mentioned here my first attempt had too many mistakes. So I've already written it. So I need to write it again. So we would use the word rewrite, which means to write again. So that would be correct here. Number 3. What have we got for number 3? DS is in first saying writing. I think writing is the hardest English skill. Layla is saying writing. Layla also is saying writing. Fascos is saying writing. Asifa is saying writing. Willie Wills, writing. Shri is saying written. Okay. Lavanya is saying writing. And Martin is saying writing. Yeah. So you're correct with this. We are describing the act of writing something down. That is the noun to describe that skill. So writing is the hardest English skill to master. And the last one, I think, was the most difficult one. So, most socially acceptable behaviors are something, but people know about them. So, we know about them. So, and the use of the word but here should be important in the sentence. So, let's look at some of your answers for number 4. Layla is saying unwritten. Fast Ghost is saying unwritten. Layla is saying unwritten, but I am not sure. Willie Wills is saying unwritten. Asifa is saying unwritten. Lavanya is saying unwritten. And Martin is saying writing, but then has changed it to unwritten. Yes, very good, guys. Now, the important thing here is using but. When we're using but, it is showing that there's a kind of different idea following. So they are unwritten. So there, nobody has written them down anywhere. So we can't read these things, but people still know about them. So this is showing the kind of contrast. Although nobody has put it into writing, we still know about them. So that's why but was very important in this sentence. So when we think about it, we cannot find a document that tells us how to behave in public. We usually learn this from our teachers and our parents and our brothers and sisters, but it's never written down anywhere. It's just things we learn from others. So these behaviors are unwritten, but we still know about them. So again, I think you all did really well with these words, and you could recognize the different word forms. That was great, everybody. So we're going to move on to our next word. And the next word we're going to look at is act. And the verb act means to take action or to do something. So if you act, it means you are doing something. You're not standing still. You are not doing nothing. You are trying to affect things. You are doing something. So again, this word act has a lot of relations, a lot of close relations that have very similar meanings where it means to take action or to do something. So, can you think of any words that are related to act? And Asifa is straight in here with action. Yeah, there we go. Layla, excellent. Reaction, really good word. And Lavanya, acting, excellent. Layla is coming in with action as well. I'm not sure what word you're trying to put in here, Fast Ghost. Layla is saying acting. Layla is saying action, acting, reaction, acts, actors. Woof, a lot of them. Actor, acting, acted. So here we've got the past tense of the verb, present continuous of the verb, but also acting can be a noun. Actress is well, very good. Martin is saying angry. Angry is not really related to act by the meaning. That's got a bit of a different meaning. Layla is saying actor. DS has got interact, react, active, actual. Now, actual here, although it is related because it looks the same, it does actually have quite a different meaning. But all the other ones, yeah, they are good. Action. Asif is making a sentence. We should take strict action against robbers. Very good sentence, Asifa. Active, very good. Now, again, actually is related because it's got the similar kind of sound, but actually and the meaning of the verb act the meanings are too far away for them to be related in the way we want to talk about today. And angry and sad. So again, these are not really related to the meaning of this word. This could be what people do when they act. When people act, they become angry or become sad. So in that way, they are related, but they're not really related through meaning. Inactive, very, very, very good. Activities, very, very nice. So I think you guys have got a lot more words than I have. Layla's example, he always acts like a stupid guy. So there we go. We're using it as its verb. We've got activist. So there's a noun describing somebody that acts. Excellent, everyone. So you've got a lot more examples than I have. I've brought up 5 words in the family. Obviously, there are a lot more. But I brought up the word actor as a noun or acting as a noun. It can also be a verb when we're using the continuous form. Action as a noun, active as an adjective. And I've also brought in an adverb here, actively. So remember, adverbs are words that describe verbs. So we can use this. So all of these words are having a similar meaning to act, meaning to do something. Layla is giving a sentence. Don't act bad and blame me for my reactions. Okay. We've got act and reactions in the one sentence. So again, we're going to look at these words. Act as a verb, actor, acting, action, active, and actively, and see how we can use these words in some sentences. So I've got 4 sentences again. Paul's favorite something is Brad Pitt. My friend is a very something person. He is always doing something. She likes to participate something in the class. I tried to something when I was in school, but I wasn't very good at it. So again, 4 sentences, each of them using a different form of the word act. Can you find which form we want to use in these sentences? So I'll give you a little bit of time to think about your answers and type those answers into the chat. Remember to include the number before your answers so that I know exactly which one you're talking about. So we've got quite a lot of answers coming already. And we've got some sentences as well. DS has made a sentence. He actively takes part in social activities. Very, very good. And Asifa, she actively participates in social works. So because we're using she here, Asifa, we would have to use the third person verb, participates. We need the S on the end. Okay, Layla is saying for number 1, actor. Layla also saying actor. Willie Wills saying actor for number 1. Lavanya, actor. Any other answers for number 1? No. Okay, we've all got that one correct. Paul's favorite actor is Brad Pitt. So we're talking here about the noun and as the job of somebody that acts. For number 2, my friend is a very something person. Layla is saying active. Layla is saying active as well. DS, active. Martin is saying actively person. Okay. And Willie Wills is saying active. Lavanya is saying active. Asifa, active. Shri is saying action. He's a very action person. Okay. Fast Ghost is saying active. If we look back here, active is an adjective. Adjectives are used to describe nouns. So, in this case here, we are describing the person. The person is a noun. So we would have to be using an adjective to describe how that person is. So in this case, it has to be active. My friend is a very active person. Number 3, what answers do we have here? She likes to participate, and then we've got our word. Layla is saying actively, DS actively, Layla actively, Martin actively, Willie Wills actively, Asifa actively, Shri is using active for number 3, Fast Ghost actively, yeah, Lavanya actively, Martin actively. Okay. So in this case, we are using the word here to describe the verb. The verb is participate. So we're describing that verb. So the adverb, as I had showed you before, is actively. So that is the best word to fit in here. She likes to participate actively in the class. Okay, our number 4, I tried to something when I was in school, but I wasn't very good at it. So, what do we have for number 4? Layla is saying act. Layla is saying act, DS, act. And Willie Wills, act. Asifa, act. Shri is saying acting. This is not possible because we have 2 in front of the word, so that wouldn't work. Fast Ghost, act, very nice. So I tried to act when I was in school, but I wasn't very good at it. So again, this verb can be used to describe what the actor does. You're doing something in a film or a play. So again, we can see our different verbs here. We've got an adverb, we've got an adjective, and we've got a noun. And hopefully we can see the different sentence structures tell us which of these words we should be using. So we're going to go on and look at another word. Again, we're going to start with a verb. And this time the verb is care. So, care means to look after someone or something and provide for their needs. So, we care for something means that we protect it. We would feed that thing, whether it be a person or a dog or a plant, whatever it is, we care for it, meaning we provide for its needs and look after it. So, can you think of any words that are related to care? So remember, we're looking for words that have a similar root word. What words can you think of that are related to care? Lavanya has come straight in with a great one. Caring. Very, very nice. Here we're using caring can be used as a verb in the continuous form, or can be used as a noun. Caring. Willie Wills, caring, cares, cared. So again, we've got different forms of the verb. Careless, very good, Layla. Uncaring, very nice, Lavanya. Layla, careful, very nice. Layla is saying carefully, careful, careless, carelessness. Very, very good, Layla. All of them are great words in the family. Martin is saying to give. No, not really related to the root word of care. So we're looking for words that are similar in meaning and use the same root. So if we look here, carefully, coming from the root care, careful, careless, carelessness. So yeah, that's what we're looking to do. So I think you guys have got a lot of great words. So the ones that I have chosen, I used care as a noun. So the word care can be used as a noun to describe the situation where people cannot look after themselves anymore and they have to go to a place where other people will look after them. So somebody was put into care because they were too old to look after themselves. We can also have a noun of a carer, and a carer is somebody whose job is to look after other people. So, again, this could be people that are very old or people that have maybe some mental problems and they can't look after themselves. People could do the job of a carer. We can use the word careful, and the word careful is when we do something with care. So we take care when we are doing something, we are careful. And careful would be describing the person. Then we've got the adverb carefully. Carefully, again, would be describing the noun. Describing the verb. So when we're describing people doing something and they're doing it in a way that they're taking care, we would describe them as doing that carefully. So those were the 4 words in the family. We got a lot of other ones coming up as well. DS came up with carefree, carelessly, caringly, carefully. All of them are great and part of the word family. Caring, very good. Attention, I don't know what's going on with that. I have to answer my IELTS questions carefully. Very, very good. We're describing the verb answer. And how are we doing it? We are doing it carefully. Very nice. Head is here saying hello. Hello, Head. I hope you're doing well. Asifa is saying caring. Head is saying I am from India. Very nice to have you in the stream today, Head. And we should take care of our parents. Very good sentence, Asifa. Asifa is saying careless. So this has came up a few times. And the word careless meaning doing something without care. So maybe he's a very careless driver. So he doesn't take care when he drives. So, yep, this is a great word. I had to take care of my mom when she was sick. Perfect sentence, Layla. Really good. I should be careful when I am alone. Very, very nice. Layla is saying carelessness kills all relationships. Very good. If we don't take enough care, the relationships could die. She is a very caring person. Excellent again, Willie Wills. That's a lovely sentence. Be careful of toxic people. Okay, we should always be careful of toxic people, Asifa. Great sentence. Fascos, she carefully took care of her mom. Very good. The carer is most valuable in our family. Good sentence there. Yeah. And he was a carer in a nursing home. Excellent sentence, DS. So, yeah, we can use it as a job, especially in places like nursing homes. Lovely sentences, everyone. So, we're going to do the same again. I've got my 4 missing words. What are they? So, we've got my father is very old and can't look after himself. I think he will need to go into something. My sister worked as a something for around 10 years. Then we've got, there is a lot of broken glass on the floor, so you need to be something. And the last one, he walked something along the edge of the wall as he didn't want to fall off. So again, look at the answers carefully and write the number and write your answer beside that number. Before we do that, I saw a sentence. Asifa, the surgeon. So if we're using were, we would have to use a plural. The surgeons were very careful during surgery. Or if we want to use the single, the surgeon was very careful during surgery. Okay, so for number one, Willie Wills is saying care. Martin is saying carer. Layla is saying care. Willie Wills is saying carer. That's for number two. For number one, Lavanya is saying care. And Martin's saying carer for number one. Okay, so he will need to go into, so we are thinking about going into a place. So as I mentioned before, when we use care as a noun, it's describing a place that people go to be looked after. So yeah, if you had said care for number one, that is correct. He will need to go into care. Care describing a place that can help people that cannot look after themselves. Okay, my sister worked as a... Willie Wills is saying carer. Layla is saying carer. Lavanya is saying carer. Fast Ghost is also saying carer. Very good, everybody. That is the correct. So we're using carer as a noun, and a carer describes a job, the job of the person who can look after other people. Great. So for number three, there is a lot of broken glass on the floor, so you need to be... What answers did we get for this? Willie Wills is saying careful. Layla is saying careful. DS is saying carefully. And anybody else for number three? Fast Ghost is saying careful. Layla is saying careful. Yeah. So, DS, you had written carefully, but here we're not describing the verb. We are describing the noun, the person. This person needs to be something. So carefully would be describing a verb, but careful is the adjective and it's describing what the person needs to do. You need to be careful. So a little bit of confusion between the adjective and adverb there. Okay, number four, he walked something along the edge. So what words did we have? DS had said careful. He walked careful. Layla had said carefully. Willie Wills, carefully. Lavanya, carefully. Layla, carefully. Fast Ghost, carefully. Asifa, carefully. And Judy's English World, carefully as well. Very, very good. So Martin also carefully. So this time it has to be the adverb that we're using because we're describing the verb, how he walked, the way that he walked. He walked carefully along the edge of the wall as he didn't want to fall off. So, again, be careful with the kind of differences between the adjectives and the adverbs. Remember, an adverb is always going to be describing a verb. Here, the adjective is describing the person or the noun. Okay, we're going to do another word, and this word is a little bit more difficult, I think. So this word is endanger. So it's not as common as some of the other words we have looked at today. It is a little bit more difficult in meaning. So the word endanger, when we use it as a verb, means to put someone or something at risk. So if we endanger someone, it means we are putting them at risk. So we've got the word endanger. What words can you think of that are related to endanger? Um, Maybe a little bit more difficult than some of the other words to think of other vocabulary in this family. So I'll give you a little bit of time to think. Layla is saying, I have a question. And number one, is care a place? Shouldn't we use a care home? Yeah. So we can use the phrase to put someone into care, meaning the same. If you go into care, that means the same as going into a care home. So it's just a different way to say it, Layla. So if you go into care, it's the same as saying you are going into a care home. It's just a different way to say the same thing. So, care can be used as a noun to describe the place that looks after people. So, yeah, for number one, care is a place. Layla is saying dangerous and danger. Good. Lavanya is saying danger. Willie Wills is using endangered. Very nice. Martin is using hazardous. So again, Martin, this is not really related to the same root word. It's got a similar meaning, but we're looking for things that are related to the root word. Dangerous from Lavanya. Um, Willie Wills is saying the Asiatic lion is an endangered animal. Very, very good use of endangered in a sentence there, Willie Wills. Layla is saying thanks for answering. You're very welcome, Layla. DS is saying dangerously. Very, very good. And Layla is also saying dangerously. So again, this is an adverb. If you were, so he drove his car dangerously. Yeah, very good. Endangered is an adjective. Yes, there we go. Endanger, the number of it is decreasing as, yeah. So no, endanger as a verb means to put something at risk. Endangered as an adjective means the numbers are low, for example, with animals. So endangered would usually be meaning that the numbers are decreasing. Okay, so we will move on, and I've got my words that are linked here. I've used the word danger, dangerous, dangerously, and endangered. Funnily enough, these were all of the words that you guys used, the exact same ones. So great. So we've got danger as a noun, meaning that we are in a situation that has a big risk. So when you are in a situation with a big risk, you are in danger. Dangerous is the adjective we could use to describe that situation. So driving a car fast is dangerous. So driving a car, we're describing that situation that is dangerous. Dangerously is the adverb. We can use that to describe verbs. So he always behaves dangerously, or he always drives dangerously. We're using it to describe the verb. And then endangered has a slightly different meaning. It is an adjective, but if something is endangered, it means that it is at risk of not existing anymore, of stopping its life. So if something is endangered, it's at risk of stopping. So all of these words are showing something has risk or is at risk. So I think these were all the same words that you guys brought up. So let's have a look at how we will use them. I've got number one, skydiving can be a very something pastime. I didn't want to something my son's life, so I told him to get out of the water. John can be crazy sometimes. He likes to live life. And how does he like to live life? I'm just going to change this actually. Typo. Sentence number 4. Tigers have become on something species in some parts of the world. So we have 4 missing words. Remember, these words are all going to be from endanger, danger, dangerous, dangerously, or endangered. So I will give you a little bit of time to think of your answers, and then we will go over the correct answers. So we've got a lot of answers coming in already for number 1. Willie Wills is saying dangerous. Layla is saying dangerous. Layla is saying dangerous. Judy's English World is saying dangerous. DS, dangerous. Asifa, dangerous. Excellent, guys. You've all got this correct. We are describing the noun here, skydiving. So the adjective describing the noun, it is very dangerous. Great. Number 2, what did we have for this? Layla is saying endanger. Willie Wills, endanger. Layla, endanger. Asifa, endanger. DS is saying danger. I don't want to danger. Okay. So this one wouldn't be possible. Danger is a noun. So we're wanting to use a verb following the word to here. So in this case, the other guys were correct with endanger. So endanger we can use as a noun. I didn't want to endanger my son's life, so I told him to get out of the water. So we had to have a verb in this situation. Number 3, John can be crazy sometimes. He likes to live life. Willie Wills is saying dangerously. Asifa, dangerously. DS is saying dangerously. Layla is saying endangerously. No, this would not be possible here. We've not got that. Actually isn't a word, endangerously. So not possible. So yeah, we're describing how he likes to live. He likes to live dangerously. So we are describing the verb live here. And then our final one here, tigers have become on something species in some parts of the world. Let's see, what answers do we have? Layla is saying endangered. Willie Wills, the same. Asifa, endangered. DS is saying I think we've got a little bit of a typo here or spelling mistake, but I think I know you meant endangered. Layla is saying endangered. And yet Martin's coming in for number 3, where it's dangerously. Good, good. But yeah, tigers have become an endangered species. So there we go. For number 4, endangered, we're using the adjective to describe the noun. Species is a noun, meaning a type of animal. Types of animal are species. So they have become an endangered species in some parts of the world. Okay, we're going to go on and do one more word. And this final word here is coming from the word encourage. And the word encourage as a verb means to give support, confidence, or hope to someone. So if we encourage, we'll be doing things like, oh, come on, you can do better, or, oh, you're doing very well, keep going. So when we give support to someone, give people confidence or hope to someone, that is to encourage them. So DS is just correcting his spelling. Very good, DS, endangered. So what other words can you think of that are linked to the word encourage? So Asifa is saying encouraging. So there we've got the noun, well, the gerund form of the noun. Very good. Layla is saying discourage, which is the opposite of encourage. So encourage means to give support. Discourage means that you are maybe telling people that they're not good at something. You can't do this. So it's the opposite meaning. So excellent, Layla. We have encourage, positive, discourage with the negative. Asifa is saying encouragement. Very good. Martin, encouraging. Very nice. Layla, encouragement. Lavanya, please explain James endanger. I have some network issues. Okay, so we'll quickly go through this. Endanger is a verb, and to endanger something means to put something at risk, put it in a dangerous situation. Then endangered, if we add ed to the end, endangered is an adjective and it describes things that may no longer survive. So hopefully that can help with the explanation. Ignoring students' questions discourages. So here we would need to use the S on the end, Layla, discourages them sometimes. So yeah, ignoring students' questions discourages them sometimes. Very nice. Encourageless. So this is not a possible word. This one doesn't work. Martin, encourageless. Encouraging, encouragement. Good, Judy's English World. Brother, could I join to your speaking class Zoom? Yeah, there you can visit the website, Martin. There's details about all of that on the website. There are links below the video. Lavanya, you are very, very welcome. So let's look at those words that are in the family. So I've got quite a few here. I had the verb to discourage. So remember, that is the opposite. We have the word courage as a noun. So if you have courage, it's got a slightly different meaning. Courage is about kind of being brave as well. We can have encouraged as an adjective. So describing a feeling that you have. I felt encouraged by the teacher. And again, just like the verb discourage is the opposite meaning of encourage, discouraged is the opposite meaning of encouraged. So again, these are adjectives. So he was discouraged because his teacher didn't answer his questions. We've also got the adjective here, courageous, and the adverb courageously. So again, these words here are more linked to the meaning of courage, having some sort of bravery and having no fear. So there's kind of, although these words are slightly linked by meaning, courage, courageous, and courageously have slightly different meanings to encourage, discourage, encouraged, and discouraged. Slightly different meanings. So courage, thinking more about being brave and not thinking about yourself. Encourage, more about thinking about others and trying to help them. So what's the difference between discourage and encourage? So encourage means to help people and give them compliments. You're doing really well. That's great. Keep trying. Do your best. Discourage is the opposite. Oh, you're not very good at this. Don't bother trying. You're terrible at this. So they've got the opposite meaning. Encourage is being very positive to try and help people. Discourage is being very negative about them. We've got courageous, yeah, is an adjective, Ashma, and opposites, yeah. So, yeah, encourage and discourage are opposite meanings. And we have discouraging, very good as well. Encourages, yeah, all of them are great. So we're going to do our final quiz for this one. And all of these will be using the words from the previous page here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 possible words for each answer. So for this one, we've got my history teacher always tries to help and something me. I felt something after I got a low score in my maths test. It takes a lot of something to leave home and find a job in another country. And the last one, the firefighter something jumped into the building to save the children. So, I'll give you some time to think of the answers. While we are doing this, let's see. Asifa has made a lovely sentence here. We should encourage each other. Excellent, Asifa. That's a great sentiment here. Layla, the courageous knight courageously discouraged the enemy's raid. Very, very good. So yeah, we are using two different meanings, being very brave, and he did this bravely, and he discouraged the other side. So really good sentence there, Layla. Okay, we've got some answers come in. My history teacher always tries to help, and Asifa is saying encourage. Willie Wills, encourage. Layla and Martin are all using encourage. DS is using encourage. Lavanya, yeah, very good. Everybody there got that one correct. Excellent. To encourage me, make me try to do my best and tell me that I'm doing well. Great. So for number 2, I felt something after I got a low score in my maths test. So Asifa is saying discourage. Almost correct, but not quite. Willie Wills is also saying discourage. Not quite correct, but almost. Layla is saying discouraged. DS is saying discouraged. Layla is saying discouraged. And Asma is saying discouraged. Yes. Lavanya, discouraged as well. So yeah, discouraged meaning, oh, I don't feel good about this. So yeah, that would be the correct answer here. We got a low score in the test, so I'm feeling, I don't really want to try anymore. I didn't do well. Okay, for number 3, it takes a lot of something to leave home and find a job in another country. So, what did we think about this? Willie Wills is saying courage. Asifa is saying encourage. Layla is saying courage. Lavanya is saying courage. DS is saying courageous. So, in this case, we couldn't use courageous here because it's an adjective. So the way the sentence is going, it's got to be a noun. It takes a lot of something. It's got to be a thing. So we need a noun in this sentence. The only one it could be here is courage. It takes a lot of courage. And Asma has just written that in as well. For the last sentence here, we've got the firefighter something jumped into the building to save the children. So, what did he do? What answers do we have for number 4? Willie Wills is saying courageously. Asifa is saying encouragingly. Layla is saying courageously. We've only got 3 answers for number 4. So 2 of them are courageously and 1 is encouragingly. So I think encouragingly is possible. It is possible, but I think courageously is the better answer, because if you're jumping into a building that is maybe on fire, that's a very brave thing to do. Now, you could jump encouragingly as well. That is possible. But I think when we're thinking about a firefighter, we're thinking about dangerous situations, things that we need to be brave for. So I think courageously works a little bit better in this sentence. Although grammatically, encouragingly works, there's no problems with encouragingly. I think for the purpose of this sentence, courageously works a little bit better. And okay, we got a few answers that are coming in as well. Asma and Layla has already answered question 4. Sorry, Layla, I must have missed your answer. I didn't see it in the chat. Sorry about that. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I miss, there's a lot of chat things coming in, so sometimes I do miss that. Okay. Courageously. So if we were looking for a direct synonym, Lavanya, courageously and fearlessly would be this kind of similar meaning. Courageous, fearless. Courageously, fearlessly. They would be kind of synonyms. Okay, thank you, Layla. Okay. All right, so hopefully from these sentences we've looked at today, you can kind of see the difference. And a lot of the time, the way the sentence is structured tells you which word in each of the word families you should be using. So we got a quick vocabulary summary today. We only looked at 6 words, but within those 6 words, we had big families. So I think in total today, we probably had about 30 or 35 words, all coming from these 6 simple words today. So we saw a lot of words that were related, and these are only 6 words that I have chosen. There are hundreds and hundreds of words that belong to word families. And this is something we can search. There's lots of examples you can find of these online. Now, Asifa is saying, I have a question. That's great. So we're coming towards the end of the lesson just now, Asifa. So if you write your question, I'll answer that in a few minutes because I really only have a few more things to do. First of all, we're going to do some homework. You're going to choose one of today's words. So you can choose any of the words that we have had today. So that could be help, it could be right, it could be any of those words. And you're going to write about that. So it could be, for example, you're going to write about someone you helped, or maybe an actor you really like, or a person that encourages you, or someone that you care for, or something that is endangered. These are just some examples. You don't need to write about these things. You can if you want, but you can write about any of the words that we have talked about today. So you can, when you do this, you should try to use the words or phrases from the lesson. You can write as much or as little as you wish. So maybe you want to write about something that is endangered. You could write quite a lot about that. So the Siberian tiger is an endangered species, and you could go on and explain about that. So it's up to you. You can write as much or as little as you wish. You can write your answer in the comment section of this video, and I will give some feedback on your answers as well. Also, for those of you that would like to practice using today's vocabulary some more, you can visit the IELTS Insider website and take the quiz. So I have left a link to the quiz in the video description. So if you want, you can leave a comment on this video and let me know your score. So just before we finish up here, Lavanya is saying, please like the video, guys. Thank you, Lavanya. Asifa, your question, from where can I cover the basics of English grammar? Well, there are a lot of fantastic grammar textbooks out there, Asifa, and they will give you all of the basic structures. They'll explain the difference between nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs. You will also be able to find out the basic grammar structures that make up the past, present, and future. So there are a lot of great textbooks, but there's also a lot of great resources online as well. So just putting a search into Google for basic English grammar lessons, you're going to find a lot of useful websites. There is also the Oxford English Grammar Dictionary, which is a great online resource. You can find out lots of explanations about the use of different types of grammar, like prepositions and articles. So yeah, the Oxford Grammar Dictionary is a great online resource. So yeah, there are a lot of places that you can find this. Real life textbooks. There's so many websites out there, Asifa, that cover the basics. Layla is saying, Lavanya, I did. Very good. Asifa, already done. Great. And Baimo Kayano is saying, Miami presents. Okay. So we have to write about one of our words today and bring. No, you don't need to use the word family if you don't want to, Layla. You can just choose one of the word. But if you can use the word family, some of the words from that family as well, that's okay. But I just really want you to choose one of the words and think about a situation and write about that. So again, for the homework, let's say somebody you helped. Maybe that's just, you're just using the word helped in the first sentence. You don't really need to use it again if you don't want to. If you think you can use some of the other words from the word family, that would be great. But you don't need to in the homework. Um, only two. Okay. You are so smart. Thank you, Baim. Um, Mr. James, my vocabulary is very weak. Even if I learned about it before, I keep forgetting. Well, Willie Wills, I think this is a very common thing that happens with vocabulary. And that I know it's difficult, but the best way to remember vocabulary is trying to use it. If you learn a word and you never use it in sentences or you never use it when you're speaking, you're more likely to forget that word more quickly. So when you do learn new vocabulary, try to use it. Make some sentences with it. Try to use it in speech, and you're more likely to remember that word and not. So the name of a book, the most famous grammar book is called English Grammar in Use. That's a really famous book. It's published by Cambridge. It's used all around the world. English Grammar in Use. I'll write it down here. And this is a great book to start because it covers all the basic aspects. And then it also goes into some more complex forms of grammar as well. So it's called English Grammar in Use. It's a great textbook. Um, Thanks a lot. I really learned a variety of different vocabulary. I enjoyed it. That's great to hear. Martin, I have given a like. Thank you very much, Martin. Willie Wills is saying thank you. I'm getting a thumbs up from Martin. Great. So I think that's a good spot, everyone, to wrap up today's live stream on word families. Thank you for all of your input today, and I'll hopefully see you soon in another live stream. Okay, everyone. Bye for now.